Terraria today, and you may look at the title and see that this isn't just a normal live stream. So, if I go to a different account, okay, so now you can see me moving. Alright, so this is my character Jelly, so it's named after the YouTuber Jelly. So as you can see, it's softcore. I have 500 health, 200 mana, and I've been playing for 250 hours. It might seem like a lot of time to you, but I have gone after boss after boss, and I still can't seem to find my challenger. While I'm saying that, I'm going to go on to my world high. This is based off the original world that me and my friends used to play on before I was a YouTuber. So, the last prism. This comes from the Moon Lord. That's right. I have beaten the Moon Lord. So of course, I still have things to do in my Terraria world. And why is this not working? But, this has taken... Jesus. This has taken forever to accomplish. So, let me just craft a bunch of these. So, yes, I do have the Terra Blade. And yes, I am about to craft something insane. That's a lot. So, I have a crap ton of these just stockpiled. I hope you don't mind all the things in the background, that's just my parents. So, if you get the chance, go to NF Crazy's channel. He does puppet videos, and sometimes I actually help out. So, if you recognize my voice from the NF Crazy series, that is actually me. So, I want to see what this is about. Okay, so it's a type of grappling hook. Whoa. So, like I said, the last prism is, a drop from the Moon Lord. So I wasn't planning on uploading a stream today, but here I am. So, you're probably asking, how did you beat the Moon Lord, and why is this little setup here? So this setup is made specifically for the Moon Lord, and you need the beetle armor, and you're going to need the beetle shell. So, you need a mana regeneration band, or just a regeneration band. You're going to need a celestial stone, a celestial shell, a charm of myths, and a cross necklace. You're going to need that, plus you're probably going to need a stardust stell staff. You're going to need a really good bow, such as the phantasm, and you're also going to need the solar eruption. Of course, you don't need the murderous staff of the frost hydra, but it will help you out a lot. The keen nebula the keen nebula blaze is actually a very good weapon against the Moon Lord, as you can see. So this is what the solar eruption looks like, and this little orb right here, you can actually get that after going after the stardust pillar. So the solar pillar is for solar eruption. You can get this in a lot of places. I forgot where I got it, but I mean, you don't have to use this. I didn't use it for my Moon Lord fight. You're going to need to take down the Nebula pillar, and the Phantasm, it's probably the other one. I can't remember. I think it was Vortex? Yeah, Vortex pillar. So, you're probably not going to get it the first time, but you're going to need a lot of things. One, you're going to need bonfires, honey, and a heart lantern. The nurse is optional. Optional. So of course I didn't have to use it, but you are going to need a platform over your head, so then the Moon Lord doesn't strike you with the death laser, which is what this is. So the last prism does an insane amount of damage, even though it doesn't look like it does. Although it is extremely strong. The solar eruption is probably one of my favorites. So the hurtful daybreak can actually be used against the lunatic cultist. So I'm going to use the last prism against the lunatic cultist, and I'm going to see how it goes, because of course I don't have unlimited mana. I'm going to try and do this 100%, 100%, sorry. So this could also be very helpful against the Moon Lord. So I am going to show you how to defeat the lunatic cultist on your own world. So of course it is a celebration because I just defeated the Moon Lord a couple of minutes ago. So of course you're going to need to unequip your wings. You probably won't need the Terrablade actually. So that's why I put my Terrablade in here. So one of my friends likes to play on here, so this is my Terrablade. It does 150 damage, and his does 131. He's not always on, but um, that's just what he does. So once this quarantine's over, he will be able to come over, or not really come over, but he can go on his PS4 and he can play Terraria if he gets the disc. So that shows a lot. So he's stayed away from Terraria because he thought that there was really nothing to do. Like, he just made it to the twins, Skeletron Prime, and he kind of just gave up on Plantera. So I don't know. Maybe it's just his opinion on the game. I mean, I'm not gonna judge him. I'm not gonna judge him. So I don't even think I'm gonna need any potions. Jeez. So for the Moonlord fight, I would suggest using the greater healing potions. How you make that is you take a solar fragment, a stardust fragment, a nebula fragment, and a vortex fragment, plus 4 greater healing potions to make 4 super healing potions. So I'm going to head over to the dungeon right now, and I may be talking really fast because I'm extremely excited, especially after I beat the Moon Lord. So I'm planning on doing it again. So I have a couple of setups that I want to build. So this is my, what's it called? The Jungle Temple. So I'm trying to recreate a smaller version of the Jungle Temple. I'm going to load it up with traps. I actually have a ton of traps just ready. So you're probably going to need the wings for this, and of course, if you haven't beaten the Lunatic Cultist, the easiest way possible would probably be to using your Terrablade. So the Terrablade shoots like little green swords out of it. So that would obviously be extremely helpful. So you might want to turn down your headset if you're watching this on PlayStation or computer. But yeah, here we go. What kind of voice is that? Oh my god. This thing does some major damage. So, of course, I'm going to use the Solar Eruption. So, When he's in this phase, you want to hit the real Lunatic Cultist. The way that you can tell that it's the real Lunatic Cultist is if he has a health bar. So of course I'm going to use that quickly. So he's going to make like a weird sound. He's going to attack any kind of enemy for him. So of course, when he goes into this phase, oh, flip. Oh, that's actually very helpful. So that's another thing that you can use against the Lunatic Cultist. So any pets that attack are extremely good against the Lunatic Cultist. Now, of course, I can just get hit by these and I can easily regenerate. But it is extremely hard. So you can get most of these items after beating a solar eclipse. So the items that I used are actually extremely easy to get. It's just that you have to beat a solar eclipse, which is quite hard for new players, but if you want to know how to get the Terrablade, I will explain that in the next live stream, which will be uploaded. Actually, I'll just tell you in this video. So, to make a Terrablade, you are going to need, well, in PS4 version, you are going to need a Knight's Edge. You're going to need a Broken Hero Sword to make the true Knight's Edge. And so, the true Knight's Edge can also fire swords out of it, but it doesn't have the full capacity or strength of the Terrablade. So, good lord. Oh, that was awesome. I've never killed a wyvern with this, but oh my god, I died. Dang it! Well, still, I used the last prism against it. It's just that I didn't bring the right potions. So you can beat the Lunatic Cultist pretty easily. Now, of course, I was using the last prism, but I don't have enough mana. So what you're going to need to make a Terrablade are these things right here, Broken Hero Swords. You're going to need 2 of them for PS4 or PC. So, what you do to make an Excalibur are just, Jesus. So, what you use to make an Excalibur are hollowed bars. So you need, I think it's 12 hollowed bars, 12 or 14, I don't know. But 12 or 14 hollowed bars to make an Excalibur. Then, if you combine a Broken Hero Sword with an Excalibur, it makes the true Excalibur. So after you have the true Knight's Edge and the true Excalibur, you can combine them at a Mithril or Auriculum Anvil. So once you combine them, you will get a Terrablade. So what I recommend using are these potions right here. So not all of these, but the Regen Potion and the Iron Skin Potion. You're also going to need a handful of pad thighs, which you can get from the traveling merchants. So, of course, they might show up anytime, you really don't know. But, that's how you make the Terrablade. So, how you make all of these is you make them from the, fragments. So, Solar Fragment, Stardust Fragment, Nebula Fragment, and Vortex Fragment. So, what I would suggest using, so this little thing that I'm flying around in, you can get that from the Alien event, which I don't think happens on every console. So, alright, perfect. So now I'm going to head back to the dungeon, because at 4:30 it is automatically daytime. So you can start a solar eclipse at that time to get the longest solar eclipse possible. But, yeah. So, of course, I have a ton of solar tablets. I've beaten Golem more than once, as you can see, since I have the beetle armor. So, the beetle armor is probably one of the best, if not the best, in the game. So, you would think that the drops from the Moonlord and the pillars would be the best, but no. It's actually Golem. So you would have to go into the jungle, which is one of the strongest biomes, or in fact the strongest biome. You need to get enough chlorophytes. Yeah, I think it's chlorophyte. You would need to get enough chlorophytes to make Um, I think it was. I can't remember, but you're definitely going to need a lot. I think it was 52 or 56. Yeah. Aw, they didn't respawn. Well, that's strange. Normally they respawn. So as you can see on all of the corners, I have a heart lantern, except for this one. I had to run over here after I beat the solar pillar, which is the hardest out of the four. So as I was fighting the Moon Lord, I had this thing in my inventory, so it was right here. So I tried to get a super healing potion, but then I accidentally went one over and went to the ice mirror, so I almost killed myself. So of course, this is just a normal live stream. I'm just trying to give you guys information about Terraria if you feel like playing it. So as you can see right here, this is well, it used to be like a farm almost. So I have all the liquids here. I have lava, I have water, and I have honey. So honey is what you can use to stand in or grapple in to help you defeat the Moon Lord, because it will give you bursts of health. And just make sure that you don't have a mirror, or like a magic mirror or an ice mirror or something like that. Make sure that you don't have a teleportation item on you, otherwise the Moon Lord will follow you and he will kill you. Unless you're extremely lucky, like I was. So, how I got this much lava, that much water, and that much honey, with no, like, insane pipes going through it, nothing like that, but, so, I'm sorry about that, but, still. So, these little blocks here, this is what originally started. So, right here, if you're wondering why there is a giant pit, there's actually a hack where, if you take, like, a lava bucket, or a water bucket, or a honey bucket, then, you can actually dupe it. But I would recommend closing off, this little part right here. So, that is basically what you have to do to duplicate a bunch of honey, water, and I almost call it magma, but it's lava. So, let me just... Dead penguin. Okay, good. I got it. Sorry, I just hate penguins being on my compound. But, yeah, so this is my Terraria world. Jesus, the rain's loud. Here, I'll turn it down. But, let me just turn all this down. Huh? It's much better. Alright, so like I was saying before all the rain started to interrupt, is the nurse right here. I didn't actually have to use her. I thought I was, but still. The nurse can be extremely helpful because, like, when you're in the Moon Lord fight, then, you can just grapple here and heal, but, she doesn't want me wasting her time. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get a small setup like this, and you should be fine. You're going to need at least one campfire. You're going to need a heart lantern. It doesn't necessarily have to be high up, but it's just how I feel like it. So you can have a small pit of honey, or you can have a massive one that you can run along. But it is better if you just use a small platform, and if you grapple to the bottom, then you won't get hit out. You can use the nebula, you can use the solar, you can use stardust, you can use anything. But that's just how I feel like doing it. Of course, you may be a melee player or a ranged. Like, it doesn't matter. But this is just my opinion. This is how I feel like it. But this is the easiest way to fight the Moon Lord, and you are basically invincible towards it if you have all of these items. Not these. These are just things that I choose to have. But, yeah. So, that's just how you beat the Moon Lord, and Last Prism is absolutely insane, and we all know that. If it had a lot more mana, so of course I regenerate all my mana really fast. Health, not so much. Ooh, well that's cool. I've never noticed. But yeah. So I just got this grappling hook, so I've had no idea that it was there. So next boss that I'm going to try and fight is Duke Fishron. Well, of course I'm going to need a glowing mushroom biome, and I forgot where mine was. Oh, there it is. So what you can get here is a truffle worm, which allows you to go over to your ocean on this side of the map or that side of the map. Of course I have an arena here, and of course I have an arena over here. I would prefer this one. Oh, and also, this is what I used so that I could start the Martian Madness event. So, they're not like events caused by admins of the world. This is just something that you spawn into. So, if I save and exit the game, of course I'm not going to stop the stream yet, but if you start a normal world, I will actually show you what it looks like. So, I'm going to go into my newest worlds. So if you've heard of 2B2T, I basically made the Terraria version of it, except I don't want it to get destroyed that easily. So I named it T2B2. Well, you could just replace the T with the R, so then it would be R2B R. Damn it. Sorry, R2D2. But of course, I just wanted it to kind of be like 2B2T because I love that server. It's absolutely insane. I've been on it, I think, maybe about 10 times, and I already have full diamond gear. I have an enchanted sword too. So this is about what a world would look like, minus the house, minus the hole. But let me just go over into a different biome. So of course I travel extremely fast, and even though I don't have any of my boots or buffs or speed potions like that, um, it is actually a good strategy to use. So of course I've made it to the dungeon. I've beaten the dungeon guardian, not the dungeon guardian, but like Skeletron. So I've beaten Skeletron, and I don't know what's right there. How did how? Well, I don't know how that happened, but yeah. So you spawn in the middle of the world, and of course this is what a corruption would look like. It would go all the way down all throughout your world. It would just go insane. But yeah. Oh, traveling merchant. So I've been looking for traveling merchants for a while so that I can restock on other kinds of pad thighs, kind of things like that. So I'm going to trade with this guy and then actually, so this is it? Yes. So these are medium improvements to all stats. Of course, high improvements can come from the um, pigrons, which can be found underground. I've found a couple in my world, so let me just buy a bunch of these. So I'm actually going to sell you a broken hero sword, since I don't need them. So these things, every 5 that you get is worth 1 gold. May seem kind of like a ripoff, and oh yeah, I don't use these anymore. But yeah. So now I have 52 gold. Great. So let me just sell my illuminate hook. So these guys will let you sell them almost anything. Doesn't matter if it's rare or not. Whoa! Holy crap! But yeah. If you know what the jungle key is for, um, just let me know in the next live stream. But I will see you guys in the next live stream after I deposit all my cash into my piggy bank. So there are piggy banks in this game. Actually, I'm going to end the live stream here. So it was nice talking to you, and it's been fun like this. So I hope to see you in my next live stream, which will probably be uploaded by tomorrow. Right? So I will see you guys in God of War. Jesus, I cannot do anything. Just give me a sec. It might take a second. Good lord. Sorry, I could not get off the broadcast or live stream, whatever it is. So, yeah, I will see you in God of War next time.